And welcome to the last webinar of the week. I am excited to be able to bring you our T-Level webinar today. So it's T-Level Thursday, if you weren't aware of it. And T-Level Thursday ends the National Apprenticeship Week 2026. And I am delighted and very excited to present two wonderful people who are here today to talk about T-levels. And we are really delighted to welcome Karen Knoll, who is our amazing curriculum manager over at North Notts College. Hello, Karen. And to Logan. Now, Logan has just completed his T-levels and got a placement with Lang O'Rourke, which is really exciting. So, Logan, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time, both of you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Without further ado, let's crack on and get into the presentation. So, Karen, Logan, this is what we're going to discuss today and talk to our audience about. What are T-levels, subjects offered, structure, placements, benefits for students, parents and employers, how to apply, and anyone who has questions will answer those at the end. So getting straight into it, Karen, do you want to talk us through what T-levels essentially are?
Hi, Lucy. Yes. So T-levels are an amazing start to your career pathway. So they are equivalent to 3 A-levels, covering just one subject area of your choice, which is all discussed at the beginning of the career route. It involves a 45-day industry placement, which we can support as an organisation to get you into a placement, hence why Logan's here, and you can discuss that further on in the slide. Yeah. And also, then it leads to 80% in the classroom and 20% out at work, which again,
Fantastic.
We will support you for that.
This is fantastic. T-levels are amazing. So just quick one, Logan, how have you found your T-level over the last few years?
Well, when I first started my T-levels, it was a bit of a shock to the system, to be fair. It was this new thing that I hadn't really heard of before, but over even the 45-day placement at this company, it's been amazing to get some hands-on experience through work whilst also learning in the classroom. I just felt like it was really new thing, and it really helped me out a lot.
Fantastic, thank you. So Karen, the government has an agenda to really develop skills across the country. T-levels are quite a new option to A-levels, BTECs and apprenticeships at the moment. So do you want to just literally go through how they were created and why they're so important to the development of our economy?
I think learning over the last few years of us delivering T-levels, we've also learned lots about how and why they are so important to us and to our students, to these young people coming through, to really give those skills to that next leading workforce, our generation coming through. They're technical qualifications which are designed for specific routes, which can give those learners who are coming out of school, coming into the college environment, who know exactly where they want to be and what they want to do. It really does support that with our students. And having that 45-day placement opportunity is just amazing for them students to be able to get out there, see how industry works, gain those power skills, which are really needed for any industry, any employer. It's so important that these employers do see these power skills that are being learned. And for them then to progress into that employer, with that employer, or even onto further education. It's a great course, and it's a great course for, like I said previously, where they know exactly which pathway and which career route they want to go down. And the government are really supporting these and actually supporting us, which we collaborate with the Association of Colleges and other colleges, which help us support as a one big team to be able to develop these T-levels to be even better.
Amazing. And do you know what? When I was learning about T levels when I first joined the group, what a fantastic opportunity for young people, I think. And the fact
Yeah.
that these have been developed with industry in mind and employers. So employers have had a hand in actually helping the government and training providers like us create these
Oh,
opportunities
yes.
for young
Yeah.
people has just been phenomenal. Because, employers, and you mentioned that really important word for me, me, power skills is literally
Hmm.
my big passion. And the T levels I know are totally drives the power skills. So I'm going to be asking you, Logan, a bit later about power skills because I'm really glad that Karen's mentioned that because she knows I'm a huge advocate for them. So
100%.
without further ado, we're going to talk about the differences because I think this is a really crucial slide. And then the next slide, I'm going to bring Logan in because it's really important to ask him why he chose a T level over apprenticeships and A levels. But before we get there, Karen, could you just explain the differences to our audience, please?
Okay, so a T level, as you can see, it sits right in the middle of the diagram there, and it offers little bits of what an apprenticeship does and little bits of what A levels do. Um, the T levels, you're actually in college 80% of the time, whereas reverse for an apprenticeship, you're in college 20% of the time. So you are actually learning that you're gaining that knowledge and that experience within college faster. And as you know, Logan will probably explain that how it's worked for him being in college and being on this D level. So you are literally in college 80% and getting through that, gaining those skills and getting through that qualification faster while developing your confidence and skills going into placement for that 20% of the time, working with an employer. Whereas an apprenticeship route, you could be on it a lot longer. The apprenticeships can go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years, depending on what area you go down, which is a work-based training delivered over the 12 months. However, it can be extended. So there is that difference there. And I think Logan will express that when he actually comes to speak about the difference what a T level does has created for him.
So it's really interesting that we talk about this because when I go into schools and deliver presentations to schools, I know that when I ask everyone to stand up about do they know what they want to do, probably about 20-25% of people stand up. They really don't know what to do at the age of 16. So, I think actually, how on earth are you supposed to determine the rest of your life at this stage? So I think T levels
And
gives you that real
yeah,
example of being in the world of work to sort of see where you fit in actually via doing that T level, I think, as well, but not as expansive as an apprenticeship.
no, or A levels. How, like I
Yeah,
said previously, the T level gives you those 3 A levels. So you're gaining those
yeah,
UCAS points as well to be able to get into a position of a high degree apprenticeship. Whereas A levels, it's just one subject. So you'd have to cover 3 subject areas to be able to get the 3 A levels.
yeah. So let's move on to this slide about the who most suited to. I'm going to bring Logan in on this one, if that's all right. So
Yep.
Logan, what was it about T levels that made you go down that route when you first applied to North Notts College?
Well, it was more what wasn't there about T levels, about what I wanted to do. Because originally I didn't really know about T levels or anything to do with colleges and stuff like that. I thought sixth form in my mindset. But then when I did some further research into it, I realized school A levels wasn't for me. College makes you feel like you're quite grown, talk to you like you're equals and not like you're teaching a child. So with T levels in that respect, it was like a quite a grown-up way of me to get my learning, especially in because I was very dominant in construction and engineering and stuff like that. I always thought that was the route I wanted to go in. So I actually originally applied for a level 3 engineering course, was in that for a few weeks, but because I was excelling, T levels was the higher graded option or the better option for what I wanted to do. So I've got moved up to that. So in them first few weeks of even in T levels, I've realised how much better of a course it was for me personally, especially with the placement, taking me to company, getting my confidence up to chat to different companies and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just for me, it was better option.
Now, Logan, you said something that's really interesting. I want everyone who's listening to this to understand what Logan said, because what he said, and this is how I sell it when I go out there actually and talk about T levels, is you went on to engineering level 3,
Mm.
but you basically were up, you were put on and up because you were doing so well, upgraded in effect to T levels. Now, that's a really interesting way of talking about it, because I think that's correct. I think T levels are that academic bridge between apprenticeships and A levels. And so I
100%.
always say to people, if I meet really bright people, I say, well, have you not considered a T level? Actually,
Mhm.
that is. So would you say it's got that sort of academic bridge between apprenticeships and A levels, would you say?
I would personally say that from what I've experienced now, it's like the T levels is a higher level version of A levels, which
Wow.
may or may not be the case statistically, but for my experiences, that is how it's been portrayed.
Yeah. And what you said you're doing engineering. So interestingly, could you let us know how your maths was? Because this is what people always ask me about, maths. What did you get at GCSE for your maths? Do you mind me asking?
I do not. I'm going to be honest with absolutely everyone
Please.
here. My GCSE results were heck. They weren't very good at all. Um, It was, I think my maths was I think I got a four or five, which
That's
wasn't great.
But
brilliant.
that's
But it
brilliant.
was a
Yeah.
pass. It was a pass, and I was happy with a pass. It got me obviously into college. Um, but my thought processes at the time was, oh, I'm going into engineering. It's going to be really, really hard maths. And I thought, oh, I'd never be able to do it with a four or a five, but I wanted to give it a go anyway. I've
Good
gone
on
into
you.
lessons. It wasn't it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. It really scared me at the start, and I thought, oh, that's going to be the thing that I won't pass my course by. And I did it, and especially with the help from the teachers and stuff like that, they kind of like sat me down and taught me through it when I needed the help. But overall, the maths isn't as hard.
I am
However,
really glad to hear you say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. I think maths and English GCSEs and getting a certain level, I do think sort of is daunting for people. And so it's really good in terms of inclusivity and giving people that chance for people to know they don't have to have nines, eights, sevens, and sixes, literally doing a really important skill that you're doing, which is engineering. So good on you and thank you for that.
No
Right,
worries.
let's move on to the next slide. So, obviously, the RNN group, as you can see my background, we have a number of colleges, and you can do T levels across our college group. We have buses that go between each of the colleges. So, if you're in Worktop, you could go up to Rotherham and to Dearn, and vice versa. So, there's a lot of opportunities in terms of the T levels that we don't have at each college, but you can travel over to other colleges. So, um, Karen, over to you. Do you want to just talk through the options that we have for our learners who are considering T levels at the RNN group?
yeah, sure, Lucy. So the RNN group consists of Rotherham College, Dearn Valley College, and North Notts College. And we do offer a vast array of different T levels. And each year, the government they're looking at these T levels and putting more and more in. So there might be some more offers coming through as from September. So we offer early years and childcare, and that is at Dearn Valley and North Notts campus. Construction, digital, surveying, and planning, which Logan did the digital and surveying planning course here at North Notts. And digital at Rotherham and North Notts College, health and science over at DVC, Dearn Valley, and also North Notts College. Engineering and manufacturing, it's going to be offered at Rotherham and also North Notts College. Agricultural and animal care at Dearn Valley. Business management and administration, Rotherham College, and also North Notts College. And the great thing about these T levels is if anybody is coming in thinking, I really want to get into a T level, however, I haven't got that maths and English element, we do have a foundation T level program, which is a really, really good starting point to be able to get you onto that T level of your choice. which the foundation program lets you develop those skills and also gains you that next level of maths and English.
Fabulous. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is talk about assessment and outcomes now. So Logan, did you feel that any of the potential assessments and the ways of doing things at T levels were daunting for you? Because I know a lot of the time they do a lot of assessments, which I think for a lot of people is helpful. So it's great to learn your knowledge or to refresh your knowledge through assessments throughout the year rather than doing something at the very, very end. Have you found the assessment process helpful for you in the T level you've been doing?
See, with the T level tests and stuff like that, I actually found it 10 times better than what I've heard of A level tests. Because obviously in A levels you choose, what is it, 3 subjects, and you have multiple tests for each subject. Whilst in T levels, obviously I picked DSP, design, surveying and planning, and all of my tests was based off of that one section, which I thought really helped me in my revision because everything kind of branched in together. So towards the end of my course and stuff like that, when it came to my end of year tests, I felt like there wasn't really anything too daunting with it. It was the math section, the science section, and like the normal construction section, which all of it kind of linked together. So it wasn't as hard as what some might think.
Fantastic. And that's really good to hear because I think a lot of the time, I don't mean to be patronizing, but I think our young people are slightly nervous about assessments. And the idea is we're not here to trick you. Assessments should be really testing the knowledge that you've learned. And I think the T level certainly does that. Karen, do you just want to go through, because you said something earlier that was really important, that the T levels are recognised by universities, and I think we need to bust this myth that they're not. So it would be really good for you to reiterate the importance of T levels and the fact that universities really do acknowledge them.
Yeah, most definitely, because this is holding the students back when some universities do not deliver. Because the students are in a T level, gaining those UCAS points to be able to then to go on to their university of choice. However, some are not recognising that, which is a great link. This is why it's so important to have employers on board with us, due to them supporting us with planning, what UCAS points, what grades they're looking for, so they can then they decide then whether, like Logan has done, the employer Langer Ruck work with us on curriculum design, etc. So to be able to then look at what UCAS points he can gain to be able for them to put them on straight into university. So the employers at this moment in time, what I found, have really supported us to support the learner in getting into the university of their choice.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I think I have just started to share the wrong window. I'm just going to stop sharing and restart. Apologies, everyone. Right, fantastic. So just to quickly give people an outline, it's really important to know that T levels are graded pass, merit, distinction, distinction, star, and that there's a mixture of exams, practical projects, and employer set tasks as well. UCAS points are awarded, and many universities do recognise it, and employers are really behind that too. But it's still a very, very new option for people at the moment.
Yeah.
But we are pushing that. I think the government is pushing that hard with universities at the moment. Entry requirements, obviously, these are T levels are set for ages 16 to 19, so after GCSEs, although Karen did mention the importance of the T level foundation that does support you should you need that little bit of extra support before going into a full T level. We talked about the grade 4 in English and maths, catch-up options available, which is all that Logan mentioned earlier as well, which is really important, the support and the catch-up options in the grade 4 onwards. This is the slide I wanted to go through and talk to you, Logan, about. So skills students will develop. What do you think T levels have taught you? And I know, Karen, I'm going to put this in, mention that fabulous word, power skills. But what skills do you think that T levels have given you over the last few years of doing them?
Well, it always comes back to, I would say, the 45-week placement. From T levels, they've made me, in a way, come out of my comfort shell, go to a company of people that I've obviously never met before. They made me do a presentation in front of the company to explain things about myself. And realistically, because I was doing the T-level course, I was happy to do so. So, referring back to what you said, power skills and stuff like that, it's up my confidence a ton. I can talk to anyone. I could talk to an empty room by myself for an hour. It's really helped me with that. But even with public speaking, the same. I've been doing my company now. I've been in front of a group. Obviously, I'm talking in front of all of you now. It's helped me a lot. Teamwork, as well with others in my class. We've congregated and we've sorted out problems and stuff like that. It's just really helped me more as a person with who I've like become to this point as who I am now. From, like I said, confidence in a room full of people, whatever.
And can I just say the change, the difference that I've actually seen in Logan, it makes me so happy. I can remember when he first came in for that interview and he was very scared, lacked confidence, didn't know where he wanted to be. And we said, everything's going to be fine. We're going to get you on that right pathway. We're going to do this. And look at him now. I'm just so proud of what he's achieved. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Not trying to toot my own horn or anything.
No, good on you, Logan. Do you know, it's always really, it's why Karen and I love what we do and work within the ironing group, because this is what we love our job when we hear these really good stories about learners, you know, flying, as I call them, thriving. And that for us is really, really important. So it is really nice that you're able to tell everyone about that, and about power skills and what you talked about, especially teamwork. I think it's fantastic that T levels are teaching that, as well as getting an academic qualification. And yeah, I'm really proud that we offer T levels here for that very, very reason. So that's fantastic. So moving on then, the industry placement. So this is the part that is, I think, really interesting about T levels, that 20% in the workplace, getting you ready for work. And because of this, Logan, you secured a placement, haven't you? Do you want to tell the world about that?
Yeah, so at my placement for the 45 days, I'm at a company called Langer Rock. And few throughout that 45 days, they basically sent me around each job role until I found one that I personally enjoyed. I decided to choose structural engineering, to the point where my workplace, they are fully paying for my uni course, giving me a degree apprenticeship in structural and civil engineering. So I'm there. I finished my uni course in 2031, so I'm guaranteed a job through this placement.
Logan, this is amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And can I just say, Lucy, where we go back to the real tasks and real employers, it didn't just start with from the 45-day placement. It started the first year when we had 3 months of working with the employer, where they came in, they introduced themselves to the employer, to all the students. Then we had a visit to the construction site. Then they had to do an interview tasks. They had to go through mock interviews, which all of these over the 3 months really built your confidence, didn't it?
Can I just add, whilst they were doing that, like I said before, I'm saying this to everyone that wants to obviously get to the point of doing a T levels and getting with a company. You do have to be confident. You need to talk. You need to ask questions and stuff like that. And I know it's drilled into you from day one that you need to do this for a placement. But when they were coming in and the company first walked through them doors, it clocked in my head that this was a company I wanted to work for and that I needed to do all in my power to actually do that. Obviously, when they came in that first couple of months, I did all the presentations. I did everything I could to show myself to them. I did it, and then obviously look at where I am now.
And he did really well, really well. I was so proud of him. Proud of all of them.
I'm literally speechless when I hear this kind of thing, Logan, because I wish every young person could hear this. and do this.
Mm.
Because you've got to remember, in the world, it is up to you to get where you want to go. You can be given the tools, you can be given the opportunities, but in the end, it is really down to you to do that. So for you to because a lot of employers say, we want people to attend on time, be punctual, be self-reliant, crack on with the job, do the best they can. All these skills you don't actually have to be taught, they're just in there to do. So it's really nice to hear you say that that's what you did to secure that place and do the best you could. Amazing. You should be so proud of yourself.
That's what I thought was the most important thing anyway, because people I think people get a bit nervous to the point where they're like, oh, I'm not the cleverest, or I don't have this and that. And it's really not about it. It's the way you hold yourself, the way you portray yourself to different companies. And I think that's always been the most important thing.
Well done.
Oh, you're a shining star, Logan. I love it. Thank you. So T-level progression routes, just to quickly reiterate, Logan's gone through he's gone on to an apprenticeship, a higher degree level apprenticeship, being paid for by his company, people. That's what you can do if you put the graft in. Let's just get that out there. If you put the graft in, this is what opportunity awaits you. So take Logan's example here. Be on time, be punctual, be self-reliant, communicate, talk, use those power skills, because he is right. You need an academic qualification and power skills to get you where you want to go nowadays. So you can see the routes here, the higher education, traditional HE routes, your degree level focus, your apprenticeship that Logan is doing, or you can go directly into employment and potentially later on go on to a higher level apprenticeship. The world is your oyster when you get onto these T-level programs.
Absolutely.
So here we go, Logan, over to you. Benefits for students. How do you think you've benefited, and what would your parents say? That's what I would like to know. Parents, carers say.
His parents are lovely.
I've got to admit, my mum's absolutely buzzing.
I bet she is.
We've always been in a family where we try and get to the best point I can in whatever we're doing. So when I said to my mum I wanted to do engineering, she went, right, you're going to uni. I went, all right, yeah, I'd love to go to uni, but I don't want to pay for it. So that's for me, that is the biggest benefit. Obviously it's not all about money, but in this case, I'm doing a 60 grand course and I'm getting it for free. So that's a massive benefit. Obviously working, so for me to earn money whilst learning is so good. I'm saving up for a house. I'm doing all of this whilst having my education, whilst having learning skills at work, talking around every different job role, expanding who I know, what I know, and just getting to the point where I actually really want to be. And obviously for my parents, I'm never in the house because I'm always working, so it's that's a benefit for them. But with Langerock, obviously coming from a T levels, it always has been a clear route of where I've wanted to go. I first joined, and the very first conversation, I sat down with my boss and I went, right, let's talk about university, because I'm not beating around the bush or anything like that. If I'm going to work here, I want you to send me through uni. And that's exactly what they've done.
Negotiation skills there.
Absolutely. Another power skill that's needed.
Yeah.
So everyone, I hope you're hearing Logan here. Benefits in terms of, earn while you learn, higher level routes, and then mums and dads. This is what your young person can achieve if they put their mind to it. This is a really big deal. So I hope you're hearing this. Benefits for employers. Well, who wouldn't want to employ a young man like Logan with his attitude, basically? So
definitely young talent.
Absolutely young talent, motivated. And that's the thing. Access to skilled, motivated talent like Logan, for instance. Lang O'Rourke have brought him on. It'll help shape their future company and workforce. It allows that partnership and support. And we have, and like Karen is an incredible curriculum manager over at North Notts College, and we have huge support from her and many of the staff across the teams with T-levels. So that's what you can get as employers. Do you want to add anything to that, Karen, in terms of our partnerships with employers?
Yes, so it's not just like one area that we deal with employers. We've got we work with quite a lot of employers, Bassett Law District Council, the NHS, all the different companies which do also work in the same way as Lang O'Rourke and support those learners getting into that 45-day and then further on.
Amazing.
Thank
And
you.
then benefits to our local community. So we as a group, Karen, we are always about local impact and how we can help communities. And so do you just want to go through these key points with our audience about why it really is impactful for our local communities?
It is. So we're working with strong partnership with Bassett Law District Council, working on the new centre project design, but also some of our T-levels have been going down joinery and brick. They've been working in a local area, fixing, fencing, building the walls, doing what their skills are relevant towards that T-level. But it's not just about them learning the skills, it's about the local community and also antisocial behaviour, really. It's they're literally looking at their work they're producing within the local community and thinking that looks great. Why would we want to positive,
Yeah,
why would we want to do anything? And they're really quite proud of that.
that's amazing.
And they're also getting out there, they're chatting to the locals who are living there, and they're bringing them out cups of tea or whatever, just to support them while they're there working. But it's also not just, it's working with the locals, but it's also getting them into that organisation, getting them to see and taking them out the college life and what industry really looks like and putting that back in.
And that's the thing, it's about keeping young talent in the community. And if they feel that there are jobs and journeys and pathways for them, that's when they'll stay. And that's really important to keep young talent in our communities like Logan as well. And meeting those regional skills, which is important. T-levels is doing that.
It is most definitely, because we're working closely with West Burton Power Station, within engineering. The skills gap there with what's needed to be filled is we are working towards closing those skills gaps and getting those students out there. Yeah.
And just so everyone's aware, all of our courses are tailored to local industry needs. So we look at the local skills development plans and we plan our curriculum around those requirements. So everything that we're doing as a local provider is really on supporting local communities develop their skills, upskill, reskill, retrain is what we're all about. So employers, you can get involved, as Karen mentioned. You can host placements, offer talks or site visits. You can collaborate on curriculum design, contact the RNN employer partnerships team. Many options available for you to get involved with the RNN group, either at North Notts College, Rotherham College or Dearne Valley College, and support our amazing learners like Logan. As you can see, it pays dividends in the end to get involved with the RNN group. So you can apply for a T-level. So obviously applications are open for September 2026-27. As you can see, we've got the different websites here, and you can go onto any of these courses and you'll be able to see which has a T-level and which has a level 3, which has an apprenticeship. So you can find that information out in any of these courses that we've listed here. And in the RNN group, you can go on to learn with us and actually click on T-levels and find out even more information about T-levels across the group. So that's really it. That's the end of the Q&A. So I'm going to ask Logan and Karen to end this webinar with one comment. So Karen, as a member of staff of the RNN group, what would you say to prospective learners considering their next steps with the RNN group and considering T-levels?
Go for it. Do not underestimate your own ability to be able to get onto a T-level. Come and talk to us. We'll guide and support you every step of the way and get you to where this young man is.
And Logan, last comment from you. What would you say to another learner considering a T level?
That's generally one of the hardest questions you can be given because there's so many
I
different
always leave
things
the
I could
hardest
tell
for
you.
last. Yes.
Always.
Thanks,
I
Lucy.
could tell you so many different things and what you could do, but the number one thing is what I tell people is branch out, contact companies, because it's not going to happen unless you do it for yourself. That's what I mean with confidence and things like that. Even if you want to send out an email to a random company, if you don't get a response, you don't get a response, you move on to the next. But if you branch out and you do get a response, that could be a guaranteed job for you. It's one of them things, especially
Keep going.
especially on placement. But just try your hardest.
Keep trying, yeah.
I'm going to use the words determination and resilience there. I think that's
100%.
crucial. Thank
Better
you.
than try.
No, it's a twin. So yeah,
It's great.
resilience is one of my favorite power skills. So yes. Logan, Karen, you've been amazing. Thank you ever so much. Now, if you are listening now or later with this being recorded, you can come and meet Karen on Saturday, March the 21st, the spring equinox. But more importantly, it's North Notts College's open event, our next open event. So come along between 9:30 and 12 noon on Saturday, the 21st of March. It's North Notts College open event. Come and speak to our staff. Talk to them about T levels. Hear Karen talk about T levels. There'll be lots of opportunities available for you to learn more. Please don't think just because it's something new and just because A levels have been around for ages and you feel more comfortable with that because it's been around for A levels, don't discredit T levels. They are fantastic. So come along and find out more if you prefer a face-to-face chat. We've got lots of information across our websites that I've shown you as well. But we are here. Pick up a phone, email us. We're here to help. Thank you very much, Karen and Logan, for your time today. It's been truly enlightening and a really fun webinar to end National Apprenticeship Week. So thank you both. Thank you to everyone listening now. Thank you everyone listening later. Have a fantastic day and the rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you then.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.